Good morning, beautiful Monday, Ikera. Good, beautiful Monday, Ekiti. Beautiful Monday, Nigeria. Thank you for listening to your source always, your source for amazing music, quality sounds, your source for all the latest and wonderful information that you can ever get on radio. My name is Joshua Adebuta. This is the Bottom Line, your daily public affairs program. Today on the program, we will be talking politics. This is the very first edition for the week this morning. This is where we'll discuss the state of the states, the nation, and the rest of the world. While it's no longer news that the All Progressives Congress APC swept the 35 council chairmanship seats in Ekiti State, talking about the local government elections held during the weekend. The party's candidate also got 176 of the 177 seats in the state, with we're talking about the councillorship position there, with a by-election expected later in one of the Kameta wards. For those who listened live, we took updates live from our correspondents on the field. Generally, the voter turnout was low, and there were some logistics issues at play. But the opposition People's Democratic Party, the major opposition People's Democratic Party, one of the 10 parties that did not participate in the election, is not happy with the polls. The main opposition party had boycotted the election, claiming that the APC is incapable of organizing any free and fair election devoid of violence. So this morning on the Bottom Line, we'll get to look at these issues from different angles, from different perspectives. We'll get to speak with the major stakeholders involved in that election process, and at some point too, even those who decided to boycott the election. But first, we'll get to speak with the commissioner. Okay. So first on the program this morning, we'll get to speak with SEC Commissioner in charge of inter-agencies relations. Good morning this morning, Mrs. Shola Fosudo.
Thank you very much. I am Mrs. Yetunde Fosudo.
Oh, sorry about that, Mrs. Yetunde Fosudo. Sorry about that. We sincerely appreciate you. You know what happened there, of course.
I do.
Sorry. Sorry about that, Mrs. Yetunde Fosudo. Sorry. That is Commissioner in charge of inter-agencies relations. I believe I got that correctly.
Yes.
All right, so later on the program, so we'll be speaking with the publicity secretaries of both the People's Democratic Party and that of the All Progressives Congress, Mr. Shegun Dikbe. We hope that both of them will join us later on the program. But first, for the next 5 or 10 minutes, we'll get to speak with Mrs. Yetunde Fosudo, Commissioner in charge of inter-agency relations at SEC here in Ekiti. All right, well, Mrs. Fosudo, quickly, let's just get to clarifications. The PDP said SEC failed to formally inform parties. We want to clarify from you this morning if parties were properly notified of the election. All parties in the state, 16 of them I believe we have in the state, and we only had 6 that partook in that election. Were parties properly notified of this election?
Yes, very well. The only means that we were supposed to employ to notify everyone, stakeholders, voters, and political parties, is through announcements, publications in the papers, newspapers.
Okay.
And we did just that.
Okay. Through
We had
publications.
one in the Punch. Yes, in the newspapers.
Okay.
And we had one in the Punch, and I can't recall the other one immediately. But there was proper notification through those, the medium prescribed by the law.
So it was the same notification that you had in these national dailies you talked about, that the other parties who participated in the election saw nothing formally, like letters written or invitation to the political parties.
Not at all. Not to any political party. We relied on that, and that has sufficed in the past. And we believe very strongly that it should suffice at any other time.
In the past, that had sufficed, but this time around, they felt that they claimed that they were not properly notified. There was something else that you mentioned about the party while we were talking the last time we met, Friday, I believe, that at some point the party, the PDP, did not even reply at all. They did not even show any interest, but later on they came on the day that the forms were closing, I guess, and he said something happened. It was Mr. Loketui, Honorable Loketui, that mentioned that day. Can you again quickly share that information with us?
I wouldn't even think that should be necessary now. Since you have the PDP there, they should tell you what exactly happened.
They will. Okay. Well,
Let
for
them
now,
say it as it were.
All right.
Since you have recalled what a member of the commission said earlier, let them now tell the whole world what happened.
Well, at some point, they will definitely bring them on to talk about. For now, we're looking at SIEC right now. So, Mrs. Yesunde, I would like to get Saturday's election also had logistic issues because our correspondents were out there, and there were places they got to, and they noticed they couldn't but notice logistic issues in some areas that forced the late start of the elections. And why were logistics not a solid rock, if I may put it that way?
I believe that we are human, and for every human endeavor, there's always a margin of error. I should like to take that as the margin of error. We have not laid claim to being perfect, and I believe no human being should lay claim to that. But if there were shortfalls here and there, I believe that should be given to error. We did our best, and I should boldly say we were above board.
Okay, you were above board, but we couldn't but notice these areas where we had logistic errors, and because things like this, why we're raising this morning is just to look at the way to move forward. This in some areas could definitely discourage people who are planning to come out to actually become disinterested in the process when they get to their polling unit and they realize that some things are not in place. That is why we're looking at all of this, not just to cast aspersions or trade blames. This morning, Mrs. Yesunde.
Yes, I appreciate that. But let me just say, when I gave that reply, I am not saying that we are not aware of this shortfalls. Of course, we're always moving in the direction of improvement. And for every shortfall we've had, we are deeply sorry. We apologize for this shortfalls. And we are already looking to a better outing the next time if we get there.
We're looking for a better outing in 2019. If I'm correct me. If I get this wrong, the turnout then was about 33.20%. If I'm not mistaken.
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay, and this time around, what we had was a kind of shortfall in that area, 33.19. So it became lower. And so we are looking at what SIEC is not doing to continue to get better in terms of turnout. A lot of people encourage, notice that the turnout, observe that the turnout was very low on Saturday. And if anything, it should have been better than what we had in 2019, but it's lower.
Actually, we are slightly better this time around. We had 33.02, you said, and this time we have 33.19.
33.02. Are you saying there's an improvement this time around?
Slightly, yes, there is.
Okay.
There is a very, very slight improvement.
Okay, I thought you had 33.20 the other time, but
no,
02 in 2019.
We had less. In 2019.
But this is still low. But this is still low compared to eligible voters and those who are expected to come out to vote to participate in the election. What do you think SIEC should do in subsequent local government elections to encourage more people to have interest in the process?
Well, this apathy, this voter apathy is not limited to Ekiti State, as you are fully aware.
All right.
So generally, I think there is need for certain things to be done generally. Mm-hmm. However, specifically with us, like you noticed also, we improved on our publicity, on our education and enlightenment programs, and we did our best. We improved greatly, to be honest, and we were hoping.
Please go ahead, ma. Okay.
Okay. And we were hoping that should reflect marginally or better on the turnout. Well, I know that there are other reasons why voters did not turn out. Some very personal, some general, which we may not be able to account for. On our part, we did all we should and all we could to make sure that every voter comes out to do his or her whatever
their rights.
Their rights to vote. Okay. And that's what we did.
Okay. Well, I will quickly want you to just stay on the line for a few minutes. Stay on the line while we try to connect the other guests too, so that we can quickly seek some clarification. Just stay on the line, ma. Where we'll try to establish connection with the other guests that we'll be speaking with this morning on the program. It's Bottom Line on New Cruise 92.7 FM, and it's a review of the local government polls here in Ekiti that took place on Saturday. Election results were announced yesterday, and we had the All Progressives Congress, the ruling party in the state, sweeping all the 35 council chairmanship seats in the state. The party also got 176 of the 177 seats, that's councillorship seats in the state, with a by-election expected later in one of the Kameta wards. Well, I think we've been joined right now on the program by the publicity secretary of the People's Democratic Party in Ekiti State, Mr. Raphael Adeyonju. Mr. Adeyonju, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you for joining us on the program this morning. Yes, we already saw the statement you released after the election discrediting the exercise. But what is of utmost importance this morning is about the position of your party, that about how SIEC notified the political parties in election. So I'll just put it to you straight. Was the PDP duly notified that there will be an election?
Well, we heard that there was going to be an election.
Okay, you were aware.
The election was not properly done. It's not documented, and we're not formally invited. But I can tell you that our chairman was at the check office.
Okay.
Promising that he will get back to them to give them our position on the election.
Not properly notified is what I want you to clarify right now. Why we've been speaking just before you joined us. We've been speaking with a SIEC official, in particular the commissioner in charge of inter agency relations, Mrs. Yetunde Fosudo, who told us that all the parties were duly notified through national dailies, and it was this same notification that had been in practice in the past that they also employed this time around, and the parties that responded, it was the same thing that got and nothing different from that. So what do you mean by being duly getting a duly notification?
The truth of the matter is this, without exaggerating.
Yes.
The PDP is the major party in Ekiti state. But if you don't want to agree with me, I'll say it's the major opposition party in Ekiti.
All right. Well, you have your opinion.
A great major stakeholder in the project of Ekiti. So if anything is going to happen in Ekiti, we should be properly informed, formally invited, properly notified about the program. You're
saying the PDP should be treated differently.
We heard it on the air, and our chairman was there to tell them our position that we will get back to them that whatever happens or whatever we are going to do about the election, we communicate to them. And we have since communicated to the whole public, to the general public, about our position on the election. Number one, we don't believe or we don't have trust in the ruling party as a party that can organize free and fair election. Secondly, we believe that the party is
sorry, just
violence on people, and we don't want to
just a minute, sir.
Our people.
Just a minute, sir. Before we go into the details of your position, so you are saying that your refusal not to participate is not mainly about the method of notification.
No, it's not mainly about the method of notification. It's just part of it.
Okay.
We just mentioned it that after all, we are not properly notified. We are not saying it wasn't because of that notification that we boycotted the election. We boycotted the election for so many reasons, and we have stated the reason. Even when INEC invited people to take other meetings on the election about a week or 2 weeks to the election, I was there personally, and I viewed my opinion and the opinion of my party on the election.
Okay, Mr. Raphael Adeyanju, maybe we should just allow the SIEC official, the commissioner in charge of interagency relations, Mrs. Yetunde Fosudo, to take her leave right now, and probably she may just quickly want to say something to what you have said before as she takes her leave.
Okay.
So, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you very much. I should like to first state that I feel good to come back on bottom line. Thank you for the opportunity again.
Thank you.
I would like to appeal to all political parties to always take every opportunity as an opportunity to make good their promises to the electorate. If we did well by announcing the beginning of the elections, and PDP claimed to see that, then they should have latched on to the program just as every other party did. We were ready, we were willing, we wanted everybody. After all, we the same group conducted the election in 2019, and PDP participated. We hope that whatever went wrong with PDP this time around will be corrected as against
all right.
the future.
Well, thank you very much for your time on the program this morning. You can take your leave right now, Mrs. Yetunde Fosudo. We will still have Mr. Raphael Adeyanju on the line while we continue the conversation with him. Thank you very much, ma, for your time on the program. We'll continue the conversation with Mr. Raphael Adeyanju, as we'll then be joined by the other guest this morning on the program. Ms. Adeyanju, please just stay on the line as we connect you with the third guest on the program this morning. All right. Well, we need to look at these issues from different perspectives, from different angles, and that is why we've decided to bring to the table this morning major stakeholders, critical stakeholders in the conduct of this exercise, particularly the main opposition party in the state that decided not to be part of the exercise. Well, you already listened to the representative of SEC this morning talking and telling us, admitting that, there were flaws in some areas, particularly about the turnout. She said that they did their best to ensure that everyone come out to exercise their civic rights, but unfortunately, due to some reasons, people failed to actually come out. So now we still have Mr. Raphael Adeyanju is the Public Secretary of People's Democratic Party on the line with us. And we've also been joined by the Publicity Secretary of the All Progressives Congress, Mr. Segun Dikpe. Mr. Segun Dikpe, good morning.
Good morning. It's a bright new Monday.
Thank you very much for joining us on the program.
You're welcome.
We sincerely appreciate you. So, Mr. Adeyanju, you were the one talking the other time before we allowed the SIEC representative to leave on the program. So, I would quickly like to get your perspective. You were talking about the reasons why your party decided not to be part of the election. Please go ahead.
Yes, we actually boycotted the election, not because of the notification. It was just a minor issue. But the point is that, in principle, we were not ready to take part in the election because we never had any trust in the APC as a party that can conduct free, fair elections that is devoid of violence. That secondly, the politicization of these CDAs is a sort of political gerrymandering, where you create constituencies in order to favor the ruling party. That means the election has been, the result of the election has already been predetermined. So we are not going to waste our time, take a part in an election that just needed our preference for credibility. That was the reason we boycotted the election.
Okay, well, the SIEC official just spoke with us, said that you participated in the last election in 2019. So what has changed?
Well, so the position of the party there was that officially we are not asking anybody to participate in the election or not to participate in the election. That was what we said then.
Okay.
And so people took it upon themselves to participate. And they knew what they saw. In Ekiti, for instance, people were killed. So we don't want a repeat of what happened then.
All right.
People were killed then by the agent of the ruling party. So we cannot allow people to go out and be killed by an election that whose result had already been damaged. So we don't want a repeat of what happened then.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, yes. Mr. Segun Dikpe, you listened to the Publicity Secretary, your counterpart in the People's Democratic Party, and he said that the PDP does not trust the APC to ensure that the polls were fair. He made reference to the last election in 2019, which some factions, some members of the party participated, and telling us about what happened. So how do you feel about that sense of distrust about your party and the government?
Thank you very much. First, let me congratulate the good people of Ekiti State. And I dare say that the victory at the poll, at the local government poll, is specifically dedicated to all the good people. This is a contract, and the contract is not in breach. They have seen what APC can do, and they have their loyalty with us, and we have not let them down. If you are saying that a party boycotted, we must ask which party. And if you are saying PDP, we must ask which version of PDP that has broken down into smithereens. And if Adeyanju is saying that he is a spokesperson of PDP in Ekiti, I must as well ask him which version of PDP is he speaking for. We know there was no PDP at the time of that election. They have no secretariat. They have no party ESCO. They have nothing. They are so dysfunctional, and they have gone their different ways. So if they had attempted, we would have seen death, harvest of death, because they will be killing themselves to even get somebody to represent them. So good enough that they did not participate because they don't have their house in order. And we dare say that whoever has not participated cannot complain about somebody else's victory. It's victory to the good people of the state who have exercised their civic rights and who have seen that the party that is more organized, that is more focused, that they can reckon with, the party they have loyalty and contract with, win at the end of the day.
So you are not looking at it from a position at all that the PDP does not trust the APC. You are only referring to the fact that the PDP itself is not one right now in the state. Is that your position?
Does the PDP even trust itself? PDP doesn't trust itself, so how can it trust APC?
Okay.
When they don't have trust, they have trust issues among themselves.
Okay.
They can't trust us because they don't even have trust. They have trust
All right, Mr. Shegundipe, let's get Mr. Adeyanju react to what you talked about.
Shegundipe is only adopting an escapist approach to this issue. One, when you talk about factions in parties, it's a natural thing. In APC today, we have two chairmen. We have two factions in APC.
In APC?
Today, so, in APC, we have Swagger and the rest of them who have been agitating or who have been fighting against the so-called ESCO of this party. So, you don't think what he's saying is out of it. Let us come out to address the issue. The point is that we have come out as a party to say that we have no interest in your government. As a party, they can conduct free and fair elections. Why don't you address that? Even within your party, the last primary election, the last congress that you had in your party in Ekiti State, you keep people, you keep your members. So what are you talking about? If you can kill your members, what wouldn't you do to people who are opposition to your party? Would you the last election we had in the Ekiti State, by election, not our second election, people keep people. The agents of your party keep people, and they are arrested now. So what are you talking about? We said that your party is a brood of deadly killers. So that was
no. I will not want us to. I will not want us to employ abusive words and insult on the program, please.
You are just trying to ask him to.
I believe I'm speaking to two gentlemen who are elderly.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, thank you very much, Adeyanju. You see, I know you are grievance driven. I know you are angry, and it's okay. You have that justification for it. But may I ask you one question? Where is the PDP's party secretariat? Who is the PDP chairman that's going to release the form for the members to contest? I said you don't have a party yet. Your party is not in order. I don't even know which you are representing. Are you the PRO of PDP in Ekiti State? And if you say you are, which version are you? I'm just talking because I'm asked to talk as PRO of APC in Ekiti, and we don't know any other PRO of any other PRO in APC. And by God's grace, the only PRO. If you say some people have issues, some people may, you see, to be disgruntled even within a family is normal. But to go into smithereens, not to have a focus, not to have a secretariat, not to have an ESCO, and you are saying that you are a party, you don't exist. We had AA, we had ABGA, we had other parties that contested the election. PDP does not exist, and PDP wouldn't have contested. If you are saying that you ask people to boycott, who signed your release? Who issued the release that people should boycott, and who signed it? I think you owe the people that explanation.
Excuse me.
Okay.
Ignorance is not a sin, as long as you can admit it. But let me tell you something. Let me just educate you. PDP is one. And we have our
who is the chairman of PDP in Ekiti State?
Yeah, the acting chairman of PDP in Ekiti State.
Who is the chairman of PDP?
You don't know him. Let me educate you too. I thought you should have known. As a major opposition party in Ekiti, the only party that can destroy you, you should have gone to investigate the position of the party. Or
who is the chairman of PDP in Ekiti State?
You deliberately refuse to know more about the party.
Who is the chairman of PDP in your party?
I know the crisis in your party. I know the people that are recognized your party. So
who is your chairman?
Wasting our time asking all these things. These are an issue that have been settled. Normally when there is a contest, some people may disagree and go to court. So the position of the court will subsist as long as the subsisting judgment is that our party has an ESCO. It's functioning ESCO. What are you talking? What are you talking?
Who is your chairman? Just mention
I just mentioned the same to you. If you don't know, you must have heard. If you read newspapers, if you listen to radio, you'll be well informed.
Who is your chairman?
Excuse me. These so many releases to which you have responded to. Why are you responding to PDP?
Who is your chairman?
Okay, I think yes. Let's talk about some other. Let's talk about some other issues right now. Mr. Adeyanju, you also described the conduct of the election in the newly created LCDs. I'm talking about your statement that you released yesterday
Yes.
As unconstitutional, claiming that
Yes.
since the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria recognizes only the existing 16 local government areas in Ekiti State, you said election in the 19 LCDs is an aberration and a waste of resources. Would like to hear more about that this morning and that constitution aspect of this issue.
Yes. As a matter of fact, the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria recognizes only 16 local government areas in the state. So when you go ahead to create additional 19 LCDs and conduct elections, that election is unquestionable because the Constitution does not recognize all those LCDs. And when you are, instead of having 16 local government chairmen, you know the numbers of chairmen you have created now. What is going to happen to the allocation of the 16 local governments? You share it among some people who were not democratically elected, those who were imposed on the people, those that were not recognized by the Constitution of Nigeria. That is illegality. And then secondly, I see it as a deliberate act to deceive the electorate. One, they don't know those they are really voting for. They don't know the chairman they are voting for. They don't know the geographical area that the LCDs are located. It's an aberration. And more so, we see it's an attempt to defraud the people of Ekiti State. Because anyway, it's not new. What has been happening in the existing local government is what has not made people happy. The existing local government has been underdeveloped. No project has been carried out there. We cannot see their presence. We don't see them display loyalty to the electorate. So now, what do you now expect now when the local government have been balkanized and we don't know where their resources will be going to? So we see it as a form of, I call it political gerrymandering, creation of constituencies in order to favor the ruling party. It was deliberately done so that the outcome of this election, will favor the party. That was why we said we don't accept it. It's not agreeable to us. It's not acceptable. That's why we rejected it. And we were not the only one who rejected it. The electorate, the people, the voters, the people of Ekiti had also rejected it. You see the color of the election, you see the outcome of the people. There was an apathy. People did not come out and vote. It shows that people have no confidence in whatever was going on. It was a challenge.
Okay. Well, let me get to hear from Mr. Adikpe on this, your allegation about the constitutionality or otherwise of the polls, particularly in the 19 LCDs that have just been newly created. And of course, Mr. Segun Adikpe, I also want you to address this issue of apathy that we've always talked about too. People feel that a lot of people don't have confidence in the local government, not only election again, but the local government itself, local government administration itself. I want you to quickly address these issues.
Thank you very much. Unfortunately, my brother is not learned enough to understand the constitutionality.
That sounds a bit harsh. I would not want us to.
He doesn't even understand that there has been a court pronouncement on the creation of LCDA. He doesn't even understand the fact that the law of the state is always enacted by the House of Assembly, and the law of the state, the House of Assembly has rationalized, has normalized, and has legalized the LCDA. So by and large, the LCDAs are constitutionally empowered, constitutionally created, and the fact that 6 states contested, and those 6 parties contested elections, and those 6 parties participated, and they realized that the LCDAs were constitutionally recognized. I'm talking about apathy. If my party is not contesting and I did not leave my home during the election, then I might as well complain that there is apathy from my part. And then other members of PDP did not go to the poll to contest. So by and large, they will complain about apathy because they did not contest.
Mr. Adikpe. I want to assure you that even the votes
that were counted was more than the votes counted in the last local government election. That means that
yes.
people turned out a mass.
Yes, there was a slight.
Yes,
there was a slight improvement compared to what we had in 2019. But generally, when you still look at it, and as a journalist too, we were out during the election, and we noticed what was on. At some point, we didn't even know that an election was even ongoing in some places. When we asked people, when we approached people, why are you not at your polling units? They just what's happening? I don't think I have interest in local government elections.
Thank you. Let me just respond quickly to that. If you see peace, if there's polling booths and there's peace and people go about exercising their civic rights peacefully, it will appear as if nothing is happening. But if you see noise and hear gunshots as we used to hear in the PDP era, then they are used to commotion. They are used to crisis. So to them, the way to show that there's an election is to be shooting, thuggery, ballot snatching, and things like that. But because there wasn't anything like that, they attempted to think nothing was happening. They are not used to peaceful conduct of election. And because they stayed in their comfort of their house and they are in the other rooms, and they decided not to participate, they won't see the reality. And let me tell you, the people just had it good that very week. That was the week they took 2 months' salary in 1 month. That was the week that we paid the indebtedness of PDP. The money the PDP was owing the people was paid by us. So they had that pact. The contract was there. The relationship, the trust was there. So they went about it peacefully. So it's understandable if a PDP person says, because there's no commotion, there's no election. We will understand them. But as far as we are concerned, and you check the figures, there were more voters this time around than we had 2 years ago. That shows an increase. That shows a pact with us. That shows the trust the people had with us.
Well, the improvement was about 0.01. We hope that it will continue. Yeah, it will continue to get better. Well, Mr. Raphael Adeyanju, you might have some responses to what Mr. Shegundipe has said. But since you have grievances, why has your party not dragged the Ekiti state government to court? Or is that something that you are considering, or why didn't you file candidates in the 16 local governments instead? Since you have, I'm talking about the LCDAs. I'm going back to the issue of LCDAs now. You believe that this is an aberration, it's unconstitutional. So why hasn't your party tried to seek redress in the court of law?
Well, I said earlier that we did not take part in the election because
exactly
we never believed that it was right for them to conduct elections in the LCDA. So if they had gone to court, the court process in Nigeria, they will have gone ahead to conduct their own their election, because they had already determined to conduct the election. You can go; it will waste time, because the expiration, the incumbent local government office holders tenure already expired. It's like we like people will accuse us, or they will take advantage of that to impose people on people. What they call their caretakers. They like it. They never even like the election in the first time. They believe in caretakers. So and that's what they have been doing. Even those who are there now, they are almost like caretakers. They are paymasters. They are not doing anything. They are not doing any project in the local government. Go to the local government. What are they doing? They are not. So if they are gone to court, that will have given them another opportunity to take advantage of the obvious situation to impose more people on the local government. They accuse us of being the ones delaying the conduct of the local government election. That was the reason why we didn't go to court.
Because
we have expressed our mind to the people, and the people now, they know that they can trust us. They are looking up to us to dislodge them, and very soon, when they have left the party, they have left government, all these anomalies will be corrected.
Okay, because Mr. Adeyanju, I don't want.
And also, let me say something about the figures.
Okay.
It's not strange. It's not strange that APC as a party lies conjuring figures. You can compare the figures they generate during their primaries and compare it with the general elections. That will tell you that they have always been conjuring figures. So if they are conjuring figures, it's not strange to Ekiti people. So it's not only those of us who are talking now in PTP that are concerned about what is going on in the Ekiti state. Other people who have not spoken out, but they know what they are going to do. They know that they are determined to use their thoughts to send their packing from government. So people are waiting for them. So the judgment is very near. So people are just waiting to watch them. All these lies, all this propaganda.
Analysts would have expected that by participating in this election, the Saturday election, that your party would have, in a way, made a statement letting people know that you are fully on ground, and any anomalies, any grievances you have or agitations, perhaps you would have corrected it via the poll, through the polls, rather than just complaining.
No, the best way to correct it is to show the people, to tell the people that we are not interested in the election. And people say that, you see their party, you see people didn't come out.
Okay.
So it shows that our position is justified. It shows that our position is popular. It shows that people have discharged these people, they have rejected them. It's better for them to stay at their homes rather than going out to be killed. So if you had gone out to vote them out, what would have happened? They would have killed people. Then eventually they will have their ways. So why don't we just allow them to show their desperation?
Okay.
The fact is that look at it. Look at the scenario. We had 6 political parties joining APC. None of them could win even a councillorship seat. It shows the level of penetration of APC. It shows that these people have been used and dumped. They have only co-opted them into the election.
You mean the police? You mean the other political parties? Election. You mean the other 5 political parties?
Yes.
Were used and dumped.
Yes.
All right. Well, Mr. Shagunikwe, I quickly need to ask you this question. As at 2017, the APC too did not participate in the council polls. You recall then, Mr. Shagunikwe, the APC
yes, I can hear you.
The APC did not participate in the council polls then, and your party gave a similar excuses, similar to what we are hearing from the PDP recently. Has any of the circumstances between then and now changed? Or this is simply a one-turn deserves another case?
Tremendously, there has been change. In the first place, I insist, I go back to my earlier statement, there was no PDP and there is still no PDP in the Ekiti state. They are into smithereens. They are broken to pieces. So they don't have a version that would have contested. APC was one then, and APC was categorical. It was signed by a chairman and co-signed by a secretary. Nobody signed anything to that effect now. So it was signed that we will not participate because we don't believe. Also, if you look at the local government law, the law guiding local government then and local government now, you will see that the local government now is more robust, local government is more realistic. More local government is now a strong arm of government than then. So anybody who wants to play politics now will always start from the local government now, except if you are serious-minded. If you are not, then you can decide that because of one reason or the other, we don't exist as a party, we may boycott. So by and large, what happened in 2017 cannot be compared. You can't compare apple and orange. It cannot be compared with what happened this time around when there was a more robust local government, a more attractive local government, and every reasonable person, every reasonable politician will want to participate. But that is if you belong to a party, an existing party, a legally recognized party.
But you decided not to participate then. The party did not participate.
It was duly signed. Nobody signed their own. I think there is a world of difference.
And so what can you quickly take us back to what your reasons were then?
Please go ahead.
I'm asking you. I'm asking you your reasons. The reasons for your party not to participate in 2017.
Well, whatever reason for not participating is immaterial at this point. What is material is let us celebrate and rejoice what we've experienced so far. The people came out en masse, and it's on record that there were more voters this time around to give support to the success, to the victory of APC. I'm not going to bother myself about whatever reason we've decided not to participate in 2017, only to come up in 2018 and beat them mercilessly, despite the fact that they had all the chairmen and we did not participate. We came in 2018 and we chased them away from Ekiti State and we said goodbye to with the era of gerrymandering,
all right.
went to an end.
Okay, all right. If you're just joining us on Bottom Line, today we're looking at we're taking a review of the local government polls held in Ekiti State on Saturday. Earlier, we had a commissioner in charge of inter-agency relations in SIEC, Mrs. Yetunde Fosudo, online to actually give us throw some light and answer some questions on some of the pockets of flaws that we noticed during the election, particularly the issue of voter apathy and just few logistic issues. She was there, and right now we have on the table, we have on the line the publicity secretaries of People's Democratic Party and APC, Mr. Raphael Adeyanju and Mr. Segun Dikpe, talking to us about this exercise and how we should move forward in our local government polls. So Mr. Raphael Adeyanju, just before we begin to take comments from our listeners and those who have been watching us on Facebook, let me tell you that you can watch us right now on Facebook as we engage these two gentlemen. New Cruise 927 FM, New Cruise 927 FM. You can go there and drop your comment. That is, if you will be finding it a bit difficult to reach us while we open the lines. So, Mr. Raphael Adeyanju, what is now the way forward for your party now and for local government elections in Ekiti State?
What is the way forward?
Yes, the way forward.
Well, the way forward is this. Let all the parties show sincerity and be faithful to the promises to the electorate. PDP have been doing that. We've been doing that in our party. We have been showing commitment to our promises. We've been showing loyalty to the electorate. Well, as an opposition, we can also advise the ruling party that it's never too late for them to change their ways and be faithful to the people and be dedicated to the promises, and then to show commitment to the duties that have been given to them to do, to secure lives and properties of the people. If the people can trust them that they can secure their life, then whatever program they roll out will be accepted by the people. But because people know that their lives are not going to be secure, that was why they boycotted the last election. And more so, I want to urge all politicians to see the local government as the government that is closest to the people, that should be able to turn the lives of the people around. But what we are seeing now is tragic. There's nothing going on in our local government now. We don't know if there's any government going in local government, as if the people in the local government are not part of Nigeria. So I want to advise the incumbent government, if they can still find a way to give what belongs to the local government people to them. And eventually, we know that when we come into power, we correct all the anomalies. That is what we are going to say. And it's never too late, because people are waiting for us to come and take over power from them. And when
quickly
to them, what you did to them.
Okay.
So it's a matter of just telling them to exercise some patience.
Okay. Quickly before I talk to Mr. Segun Dikpe, you need to quickly react to what Mr. Dikpe said about the factions in your party and how that would never allow the party to move forward, and how that may have contributed to the party's refusal to participate in Saturday's election. Is your party won now in Ekiti?
The party is won. We had our national convention, and the ESCO has been recognized by the national convention.
Okay.
If he had monitored it as we monitored their own party, he would have been well educated about the happenings in the party. We have only one executive in the party, and that is presently headed by Honorable Larry Omalase. The party is won.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Segun Dikpe. Let me get your final thoughts right now on the program as we begin to wind down.
Thank you very much. I want to insist that there is no PDP in Ekiti State right now. Although we are invited them, we welcome them to the fray. We would like them to put their hearts together and let us enjoy good competition from them once again. I also want to tell you that because of the past and because of the fulfillment of the contract that we have with people, APC is the party to beat. APC is going to have a good succession in the coming election in the come June 2022. I also want to thank the people and assure them that they should expect more and more. In terms of paying all the indebtedness of PDP, what PDP has denied them of, we will continue to fulfill that to make sure that they are not denied of their outstanding salary. They had it in November, they also have it in December. They should look forward to a bright Christmas and look forward to a brighter 2022.
Okay,
I want to assure them that we will not allow PDP to steal their patrimony any longer.
Thank you very much.
We'll continue with our contract with them and we'll continue to walk our talk with them.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Segun Dikpe. I appreciate you, Public Secretary of the All Progressives Congress, and of course, Mr. Raphael Adeyanju. I appreciate you, Public Secretary of the People's Democratic Party. Thank you, gentlemen, for your contribution on Bottom Line today. Please do have a great day.
God bless you.
All right, I'll just take one or two calls. I just have like 2 minutes to go on the program this morning. I've got this message on the Facebook page. Good morning, Mr. Joshua. The turnout of the Saturday's election is so poor. Nobody came for the election, so I don't know where they got the result they announced. Well, Olajide Oluwole on the Facebook page there. Okay, and let me quickly pick this call. 0816-781-4132.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, thank you very much. This is Ekiti from Ekiti, Kolawole.
Mr. Kolawole, go ahead, please.
Thank you very much, sir. Concerning the issue of that last Saturday election, even though if PDP participating in that election, they will still complain because they don't have that trust in the present administration they don't have that trust.
Okay.
But I would have advised them then to participate because of coming 2022 election. So that one will tell them what is going to happen then.
All right, so thank you very much.
You're supposed to participate.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kolawole. I appreciate your contribution. I'm giving just one person the opportunity to talk. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Josh.
Good morning, Mr. Oshegun.
Yes, this is Mr. Oshegun from Ekiti.
Thank you for calling.
Just like I said early in the morning during the newspaper review, you see local government election in Nigeria, not only in Ekiti State, it's more of a selection. You will see that all over the nation, it is the ruling party that always corner all the positions in the local governments. And that is people are agitating that INEC should take over the conduct of local government elections because SEC is more or less a parastatal of the state governments. So that's why local government elections are more or less selection in this country. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good morning, Mr. Oshegun. I appreciate your contribution. That's the show for today. Many thanks to everyone. Many thanks to our guest on the program this morning, starting with Mrs. Yetunde Foshido, Commissioner in charge of Agency Relations at SEC in Ekiti. And of course, my guest, Public Secretary, People's Democratic Party, Mr. Raphael Adeyanju, Public Secretary, All Progressives Congress, Mr. Segun Dikpe. Thank you, gentlemen, for your time. Join us tomorrow. Many thanks to Samuel Olugbemini, my producer, my executive producer, Jide Ogunli. My name is Joshua Adegbite. Bye for now.